When I say secret, you say restaurant secret. Okay. I see how it is. All right, everybody. Welcome to the Secret Restaurant Podcast. As always, I am your host, Nate Hoil. We got a great show today. Recording it a little bit earlier in the week because I am interviewing the legendary Stephanie Young, who that will come out probably on Monday. So this one is a little bit earlier, or maybe there is a chance that I won't even release it. Ooh, how mysterious. Who even knows? Maybe this will just be me standing and speaking for no reason. If a podcast gets recorded and no one... All right, that sucks. If a tree records a podcast and it falls down in the woods, will anybody hear it or listen to it later? Who will upload it? And who will put in the care to editing it? We got a great show today. What if I just started saying that over and over? Just no content, no plan. Yep. By the way, we got a great show today. A friend of mine added me to a group chat of all numbers I don't know. And we're going on a little brewery tour today. It's Saturday. Today is Saturday, whatever, the 11th or something. 12th, wow. Almost halfway through July. Actually, I'm pretty sure I know all the people in it, but it's just not the first time. How do you guys feel about being in group chats where you don't know the people's numbers? Does it scare you? Are you a person who doesn't respond and just likes things and reacts to things? Are you the person who sends little videos and GIFs of reactions? Or are you like me, who has to constantly say something funny, and since they don't know who I am, it gets misconstrued that I am a serial killer? Yeah, but I'm thinking about just walking to the brewery. It's like a mile and a half. But if you have been to the Quad Cities, just depends on where you go. A lot of things really aren't walkable. But there's like a bike path along the river. That's pretty nice. And you can kind of just get right to downtown. But I'll be probably trotting. I'm going to upload this podcast later, and not that many people listen to it anyway, but if people were trying to assassinate me, you know that I might just be seen trotting along the Mississippi later this afternoon. Or I guess I'm telling you I'm going to a brewery. I won't shout them out because you know I don't make enough money to shout people out on this thing. One of these days. One of these days I'm going to make a bunch of money from doing this. How stupid is it to think that you can make money on the internet? Like, top 10 side hustles. Start publishing books. As though there aren't like 100,000 people who have dedicated their whole lives to writing novels and publishing novels throughout the internet age. And none of them are making any money. Very few of them. That whole enterprise, man. Or just like, yeah, there was a huge boom in that. It was crazy. Like, what are the top 10 side hustles? Maybe you should just start freelancing. Become a freelance writer and compete with people who have 11 years of graduate studies in the matter. But you could probably do it as your side hustle. I don't know why I keep... Is that Jim Gaffigan? Is that the Jim Gaffigan voice? What's it like? I can't think of any of his jokes, so that's kind of what he does, though. No disrespect, though. He's a killer. I remember his earlier specials. I had like a big... let me talk about me in a way that is super interesting to everybody. Everybody cares and is dying to hear this. I went through a pretty big wave of watching stand-up when I was in getting my undergraduate degree and just writing all the time. And so it was fun, and I had opportunities to, enjoy my life. So I just remember watching a lot of stand-up, either with friends or by myself. Jim Gaffigan was definitely one of the best to do it back then and still. But I don't really have a lens towards the stand-up world as much now. I'm trying to think of who else. I liked that WTF podcast a lot, and I think that was kind of how I was discovering people at the time, through his interviews. I mean, he had just great interviews. I loved the Chris Cornell one. I remember him interviewing Gus Van Sant. Like, he had good intellectual conversations, but he also had Mark Maron. He also had a lot of comedians on, and it kind of introduced you to new comedians. So I remember the one that I really liked, that it was a tragedy he passed away, was a writer he wrote for Parks and Rec and also the Sarah Silverman program. And I can't remember if there was any other major TV shows he wrote for, but his name was Harris Whittle. And I discovered him through WTF, and then I also listened to his interviews on that Pete Holmes podcast called You Made It Weird. But back then, because he passed away kind of when I was really, right around the time I discovered him, like maybe within a year or two of me discovering him, he passed away tragically young. I think he was maybe 30 or something. But there's he did his writing and he did his appearances on shows, but unfortunately there's not a lot of his stand-up you can watch. But one thing I always thought was hilarious was he had like a guest spot on this other podcast. Ooh, Nate's just name dropping. What is that show called? Comedy Bang Bang, which was a TV show, but I don't know, maybe first or alongside it was also a podcast. And he did the collaborations on, so, like, he would have this thing called Harris's Phone Corner, or it got changed to Harris's Phone Corner, where he would just kind of read jokes or ideas he had on his phone notes. And they were, like, hilarious. And a lot of them kind of bombed, too. But, now that I'm thinking about it, just stream of consciousness, I do think his comedy, especially those Harris's Phone Corner, other stuff, I think it did have an influence on me just because that was early on in me writing. I think fans of Mitch Hedberg would probably relate to his stuff. It's sort of like their style of comedy is sort of like, it doesn't make sense when you first hear it, but there's like kind of a truth to it. Or maybe it takes the expectations of what you think they're going to say, they avoid ever saying what you expect. Mitch Hedberg's like that too. Who's really funny on a television program? I've been watching Cheers with my parents. And dude, if you ever want to get mid-50-year-olds to start cheering, start laughing their asses off, just put on Cheers, man. Yeah, dude, that's just like kryptonite. But Coach on that show kind of has a similar sense of humor too. He's probably my favorite character on Cheers, and unfortunately he passed away within the first 3 seasons or so, and then they gave him an homage on the final scene or something. But he's so funny because I think a lot of the jokes that he has are that he's only half paying attention. That's kind of how I read it. So like he'll be saying something in the conversation that only half engages it, or he'll be like incorrect, or he'll be like not really fully engaging in what the conversation is, and it makes it unexpected. But then still, the content of the joke is like people laugh at it. It's funny. It's like, I don't know what you would call that type of joke, that type of sense of humor. The joke that's meant to baffle some, and others just dream of understanding. I am just so smart. Listen to all my thoughts. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, so I'm going to some breweries today. I try to avoid talking about alcohol on here because literally in my life, I think at least, I know a ton of people who have gotten sober. I think at least 3 of my friends who I like hung out with on like even a weekly basis or monthly basis, I think 3 friends of mine have gotten sober while I've known them. And I don't experience like what that's like. I've talked about this in the past. Like, it doesn't bother me if people smoke weed around me. I don't smoke weed anymore. But I just understand, like, I don't know why I feel like I always have to say this over and over. But I'm talking about beer today, so I'm trying to keep it occasional. You know that one friend who's like, anytime you talk about anything, they like immediately are talking about like mimosas or something. Oh, we should get some mimosas after this. Don't want to be that guy. All right, so
Yeah, dude, I was getting drunk this weekend. I was getting so drunk.
nah, dude. So I'm about to go get some brewskis. You know what fucking cracks me up, and also is like such an eye roll. The term beer snob. That's such an irony to me, dude. Like, be like, oh, you're a beer snob. You probably like porters. You probably love IPAs. It's like people calling people beer snobs are the same people who like only drink Miller Lite. Like that, by definition, is a beer snob. And it's just like such a low joke, weak joke. Oh, you must be a beer snob. Like you like, you probably like beers other than light beer. That makes you a snob. Are you guys listening to yourself? This guy's a total beer snob. He's probably got beers I don't like in his fridge. Beers I turn my nose up at because I don't like them. Oh, you like a wide range of flavors in your beer? Dude, I've never seen like a craft beer fan turn down like a domestic beer. I will say though, now that I started brewing beer as a hobby, I do feel like I kind of have a different view of it. I kind of have a better view of it than other people. I'm kind of smarter than other people now. Maybe that's the problem. People who have a wide palette of different beers, people who don't have that get insecure. And then they're like, what? Just call them a beer snob and then they won't seem as scary. It's not like the beer snobs, quote unquote, I'll call them craft beer lovers. Because that's more accurate. It's not like the craft beer lovers are like in their own private section with like a circle of women being like, have you tried this Saison? Melody, have a sip of my Belgium. You're gonna love this. It's sort of the same energy. All right, so now I'm about to be a little mean, but sometimes if you bring up reading or like books and stuff, if you bring up reading around like certain men, like it seems like they get mad. Like it seems like they like turn away from you, and like all of a sudden if you read a book, you're like an asshole. Same energy. That's so funny. But we got a great show today. These goddamn liberals always showing off with how they can read and whatnot. If you ask my dad for advice or information on like a really wide range of things, he like knows so much shit. But I swear to God, he's been reading the same Bono book for like 2 years. It's like a book by Bono. Sometimes he listens to this, so I'm just kidding if you hear this. But, yeah, it's interesting, man.
Let's return to our private section, where the craft beer enthusiasts have brought out a few books for the ladies to look at.
This one here is a personal treasure of mine. It collects 3 early novels by Faulkner.
Oh my god, that is so hot.
People mostly know Faulkner for the later works, but these are the earlier ones. We have got a great show today. My stomach's growling. We've got a great show today, and I'm going to tell you why in a minute once I think of it. So, why would I have a great show today? Let me think. Well, I suppose that would be a good segue to talk about some more literature. I need to calm down a little bit. I was getting a little revved up talking about whatever that was, whatever just I talked about. Let me see if I can do Boomhauer real quick. We're talking about no dang old books, man. Talking about literature and whatnot. They're over here looking at the dang old record, you know.
Well, it's official. I'm being watched by the FBI.
Oh, I was going to say more about Cheers, though. Because I haven't seen the whole series. In fact, I have only seen really the coach seasons, the first 3 seasons or so. But when you watch those, it's like basically a stage play in a bar. I wonder if they ever would produce a show like that ever again. Because it's in front of a live audience and everything pretty much either takes place in the bar or there's like a back office that is also still in the bar. I feel like to film a show like that, it would be super cheap. But maybe people who fund shows or maybe people who create shows don't think that sort of program would thrive on television. Or maybe it's just too much work to rehearse and to get the audience there or something. I don't really know. It'd be interesting to watch like a documentary of them actually filming Cheers, though. I always thought that was cool because it's like it could just as well have been like something they put on stage. I wonder if anybody has done like a pilot or something that didn't get picked up, but it was the equivalent of one set on stage in every of the 25 episodes they were planning for the season was just basically something equivalent to being at a bar.
We need to get young people invested in films again. We need them to come out here and start making movies again.
I do kind of feel like people my age got skipped. Sometimes. I mean, I can't really think of too many famous actors who are like in their right at the cusp of 30, 31, 32, which is how old I am. Like, there aren't really that many. I guess the one sitting courtside, Timothy Chalamet, I think he's almost 30 or something. And then also there was like a weird trend. Like, if you look at actors who are in their 40s, like, they're super macho, like manly men. And then there was like a trend of people my age, probably along like the Justin Bieber phase. Like, all famous men my age in like Hollywood and shit look like they're like pretty. Like, it was like a pretty boy phase. I don't know what that's about, man.
Sorry, but you need to come help us now. We need you to come out.
The most important thing to keep Hollywood alive right now is for young people who have been gatekept to come out and start saving our ass.
Ooh, the ego on this one. I do need to write a script or something, though. I do need to write a script. I guess my generation had COVID or whatever. I avoid using that excuse as much as possible, but I think I was 27 when lockdown happened. So I suppose there's that. If anybody can think of any actors who are successful who are 32, actors or actresses who are 32, I mean, I can probably Google it. I feel like I can't think of any. There's like singers. How old's that dude from The Bear? He's probably older than me. I bet you he's late 30s. Nope, he's 34. There you go. There's one. So we got Jeremy Allen White. Wonder how old that Irish dude is. Barry Keoghan, he's my age. He's 32. But seriously though, if you look at actors who are like 42, I bet you could come up with like 100 of them that are household names. I can't really, I mean, maybe when they were 32, they weren't household names yet, but I don't really know what I'm talking about. Maybe it was just a shift of what people wanted to do, and it was COVID, and it was like people who were already settled into acting roles in Hollywood and stuff. They were continuing to build their brand, and then some people got pushed out. But then that's the other question: how many actors are like 22 that are famous? Probably more women, I would guess. In their 20s, probably women, and then like T-Shao. Is this interesting? Do you guys like what I'm talking about? I pulled up a website, and truthfully, I think a lot of them are like Disney actors. Like, there's Cole and Dylan Sprouse are 32. I don't know if they are still working. Disney actors, no offense. Oh no, they were in like well, that's kind of child actors. There you go. That's my point. They were child actors. Josh Hutcherson, I remember him being in movies. He's my age. He was like the Hunger Games guy. A lot of people I don't know though. And none of these people are actually famous. Or they had like big movies a long time ago. I don't know any of these people. What if I did 33? Oh, 32-year-old actresses, that's what I'll do. I forget they were different. Okay, I don't know any of these people. Miranda Cosgrove, Disney or Nickelodeon or whatever. And School of Rock. I don't know any of these people. I feel like we need to have a deeper conversation about this. All right, now let's do like 26-year-old actors. Yeah, these people I'm definitely not going to know. Okay, well, anyway, maybe it's just that I only watch old movies, too. That might be a problem. Actually, you know what? I think that is a large problem of it, is that I'm not incredibly up-to-date with new cinema. But what have I watched recently? I liked Nosferatu. Have I talked about this? I can't remember. I'm going to do it again, though. I like Nosferatu. That was always the silent film. I think I had a moment where I was, as you know, I watch movies on mute. There was times where I was watching that one frequently. And then I thought the adaptation had its slow parts, to be honest. But when it was good, it was really good. I thought that the actress lead was incredible. And it probably was not easy to do the exorcism scenes and whatnot. And it was just gross, and I like horror movies, and who else was in that? Willem Dafoe is always awesome. You know what, though, dude? I feel like directors have figured out how to film his head. I don't know, like the shape of his head. Directors have started to film his head the same way. Like they come up under his chin so that his head looks really long. I feel like they were filming his head in the same way as Nosferatu. And then maybe that Poor Things. I love that movie, by the way. Dude, I've seen a lot of movies I haven't talked about recently. Poor Things I saw when it was in theaters. But that reminded me of that Mickey 17. How old is that guy? He's probably almost 40. I'm not going to look it up. What's his name? The Twilight guy. He probably hates that. He's actually a good actor. He's been in a bunch of movies I liked. I liked that Good Times. I liked this Mickey 17 was solid. I'm trying to think. I'm drawing a blank now. But Mickey 17, if you liked Poor Things or if you like kind of avant-garde films, it's basically about a guy who can't die because they keep cloning him. And, it's like action too. How do you guys feel about the word avant-garde? Because I use it as something that is more experimental and like does unexpected things. But I feel like a lot of people, when they hear avant-garde, they think it's going to be like somebody filming a shoe for an hour and a half or some shit. Filming 2 shoes. Ooh. 2 shoes and then 1 shoe. And then no shoes. What is the meaning? Let's talk about it. All right, what else have I seen? I did see the Bob Dylan movie, which was Deece. I didn't really think it was about Bob Dylan, hardly. I thought it was Timothy Chalamet singing Bob Dylan, and then clickbait for women to get mad at Bob Dylan because of Joan Baez. Like, he treated her so wrong. It's like he obviously had Bob Dylan obviously had like a social disorder, dude. Like, he mistreated her by being so awkward. It takes 2 to tango, baby. That's probably good on movies. I feel like I just listed them and then said dumb shit that didn't mean anything. As opposed to my normal radiant brilliance. But now, unfortunately, the Cubs game has started. So I'm getting distracted. Yankees freaking blew them out yesterday. It is now Saturday. Game 2 of their series against the Yankees, and they're up 4-0. And here comes the pitch. No, I'm just kidding. All right, if you can think of any 32-year-old actors or actresses, then I'll consider saving Hollywood. Just kidding. How old is Emma Stone? She's 36. She's probably in the area of one of the few that made it of my time. Ooh, Jennifer Lawrence. I like her. 34. She's 2 years older than me. All right, so yeah, I think you're just gonna have to say please if you want me to get out there and clean all that shit up going on out there and really put something sweet together. For example, a failed TV show that's also a stage play.
Where are all the young people coming out to make movies with us? Where did we go wrong? Didn't we give you all that you asked for? Pretty boys for the last decade.
All right, snoochie boochie baby. I'm not sure if I am going to upload this at all. I probably will, but I'm interviewing Stephanie on Monday, but I think we can't get it together to do it until the afternoon. So I guess when you listen to this, you will know, unless I upload this on Monday and then upload the interview on Wednesday or Thursday or something like that. Don't know. I don't know. Man, I'm sad that I have to say goodbye to you guys. I guess I'll talk to you soon enough. All right, goodbye. Do you guys even care what if I tell you what date the throwback episode is? Well, do ya? All right, I'm not going to look it up then, but I'll see ya. I'll see ya. Bye. I'll see about it. I'll see you later. I'll see if I can see you later. And I hope you have a pleasant tomorrow.